everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat Moonchild. I am a psychic, I am a medium, and I am a Reiki master. So today we're going to be going over tips and tricks, which is going to be a new series I'm going to be starting. This one is going to be for cleansing, and this one's also going to be about specifically different ways you can cleanse. This is not so much about the deeper cleanses or banishing, which is a whole other thing. This is about getting your space clean and clear of that negative vibe. Also, because sometimes we carry our stress in the aura, and sometimes we feel weighted down, we feel heavy. And especially for you empaths, we've absorbed too much emotion, we're carrying too much on us from other people, and it's just no bueno. We don't feel good. We feel tired, and this video is completely dedicated to ways of raising your vibration, cleansing all that stuff out so you don't have to carry that on you. It just does not feel good, and these are just very simple tips and tricks. So keep watching. You again might want to grab that notebook, pen, and paper so you can keep track of what to do. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Moonchild James. The spelling will be found above me. Please follow me there for additional content, and if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave it down below. I will be making response videos as I can to any questions that I do get, and that's something I really want to do. I want to be very interactive with the community, and I really want to be able to answer everyone's questions as much as possible, and I find that very, very important. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe for future videos. Thank you so much for watching. On to the video. Hey everyone, welcome back. I know I didn't really seem like I moved very far, but I actually gathered up some materials to show you examples of what I'm talking about, just so you have a visual representation of what I am saying. So one of the most important things you want to know about this video, this is not a protection video. That is another video. We will be doing a protection video for our tips and tricks series, but that's not going to be this video. This video is completely dedicated to cleansing and clearing. Now, one of the most important things you want to remember whenever I'm talking about this kind of energy work, this is energy work. You are cleansing your energy. You are clearing the energy of the space. You are cleansing the energy of the space. You want to remember intention. Intention, intention, intention. We have talked about intention over and over and over again. Simply put, intention is what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. It's kind of like a focused prayer. So the main thing you want to do is have the intention of cleansing, clearing, and getting it out of your space. Getting it out of your space, getting it out of your energy, all of that. So that's the first thing you want to remember, is have a clear intention. Now, going into it, this is things that can be brought into, some of these things can be brought into a stressful work environment. Some of it can be brought into the home. Those are all things that you can do. Obviously, for some of the things, it includes smoke or fire. So that's probably best done at home and not so much at work. That's going to be something you want to keep in mind, but I got something in my eye. Oh my. There we go. Okay, so I think eyeball malfunctions are done with. The first thing I always like to start off with, that is my favorite, is selenite. You're going to hear me talk about selenite over and over and over again. This is a selenite wand with a fluorite. This is not necessary for you to get. This is just something that I really loved. You'll be able to find these at different medical physical shops, or you'll be able to find them online. But There are wands that are simply a raw version of selenite, and as you can see, I have my little tower. Raw selenite has got this beautiful striation through it where it's just very, very, very soft, almost flaky looking. It's not something that looks like a smooth stone. This is more of a smoothed out selenite. You can also find things called selenite plates. They are literally giant slabs of selenite that you can put things on top of. That's actually one of my favorite and recommended ways of keeping your tarot decks cleansed and clear. You just plop it right down on top of that slab of selenite, and that will help cleanse, clear, or retune. So obviously my first suggestion is stones. Also, amethyst is a great reflector for negative energy. You can also use smoky quartz to help with that, but things like amethyst and selenite have got vibrational properties that help keep negative energy away and help get rid of it. So does smoky quartz. A lot of your quartz family really does. Also like citrine, but obviously my favorite being more in the amethyst, more in the smoky quartz, and definitely my number one would be selenite. You can find the spelling of selenite above me. It is like Selene, goddess of the moon. This is one of the 5 high vibrational stones that does not have to be cleansed. You never have to cleanse this. You can use this to cleanse other things. They come in giant lamps like the Himalayan salt lamps. You can find those online as well, and they're not really expensive. They are definitely very comparable to the Himalayan salt lamps, and Himalayan salt lamps are also another wonderful way to cleanse a space, especially in a room. So if you're thinking of like a sit it and leave it method, stones are a great way for a sit it and leave it method, but something like just these little guys is definitely not enough for a large space like a living room. It's definitely not enough for a large space like the bedroom. These are like little great things that you can maybe put on your work desk for a difficult work environment, just to keep your personal space clear, your desk, your table at work. Or you can also get small tumbled pieces, and also use something like a black tourmaline, spelling above, to help transmute the negative energy, cleanse it, and clear it to get it out of your space. So that is one way that you can cleanse and clear through stones. That's why I do tend to recommend for the set it and leave it method. If you're going to invest in these types of methods, I would definitely suggest a larger piece like a selenite lamp, and usually they range anywhere between $40 and $90. But it's something that long term you don't have to redo again and again and again, like sage. Sage is something that most people kind of default to. I'm actually going to talk about sage here in a second. A lot of people default to sage, but that's something that you have to buy over and over and over and over again. And you know what? Girl is busy. Girl don't really have that much time all the time to be going through these massive cleansings. So I like to kind of be preemptive in my cleansing as much as possible, to wear things that promote cleansing, that promote healing, that promote bringing light into the auric field. And I also like the sit it and leave it method very, very much because it's so low maintenance and we're all so busy nowadays. So that's one technique that you can use, stones. Blue kyanite's probably also a really great choice for raising the vibration of the space, because there's cleansing is a 2-step process, which most people are not aware of. Cleansing is first getting rid of, and then the second process is replacing. Things like selenite get rid of. Black tourmaline gets rid of. This, like amethyst, is preventative, so that keeps it from happening. And then replacing it is things like blue kyanite. The beautiful thing about selenite is it both gets rid of and brings in. So that's why it's so versatile, and it's also such an affordable stone. It is so affordable. I think this tower was $11. This tower was $11. This wand was $18, which was a steal for a fluorite selenite wand. Maybe it was $15, somewhere between $12 and $15. It's been a couple years since I got this, so excuse me, I don't exactly remember how much this was. But your average wands do range from anywhere between $5. I've seen them as cheap as $3 for ones that are like that big, 3-inch wands, 5-inch wands, $3 to $5. Your larger wands, because they come in large slabs, not just slabs, but large wands. And just to remind you, a wand is length long. I've seen them come in large wands, up to like 12 inches, 18 inches for less than $20, which is a jam. It is a wonderful. A lot of wands that are that large, you're starting to get into your $40s, $50 range and above, depending on the quality of stone and the type of stone. But selenite is always super affordable as of right now. So that's something that you want to look at. Blue kyanite, like I said, replaces the energy. What other good stones? High vibrational crown chakra stones replace the energy too. Selenite is a crown chakra stone, but high vibrational stones like danburite, petalite, apophyllite. I think apophyllite's a really great one. You can. Where was I? Blue celestite. Very sorry about that. My phone cut out during my recording. So going back to it, blue celestite also helps raise the vibration of the space, and you can use several other high vibrational stones, and you can actually Google high vibrational stones. There's a ton of them. Desert rose selenite's a great one to raise the vibration. Moroccan red selenite's a great one to raise the vibration. Bismuth is a really great one to raise the vibration, and there's plenty of others. So that's something that you can also take a look at. I do, again, want to make a stone video in the future and different stones and what they do and how they're grouped according to chakras, etc. But that is a story for another day. So moving on past the stones, next is our incense. And by incense, I'm grouping it into all different kinds. So let's actually start off with all of our different types of incense. And I wanted to show you the different types of things you can use for that. So these are just examples, and a tool. My smudge feather, this was beautiful. This was handmade for me by a good friend of mine. I'm so grateful. I love this so much. She did such a beautiful job. So thank you. Shout out to her for her beautiful work. Going back to it, first I wanted to start off with the sage. This is what sage looks like. You can get it in big bundles. Unfortunately, I don't have any bundles right now. I left them all at home, and I am in the office today, so I am so sorry. But this is what loose leaf sage looks like. It's these little leaves. There's also mountain sage, blue sage. There's actually a lot of different kinds of sage that you can use for cleansing, but I do have to say that white sage has been and always probably will be my favorite of the sages. You can also use certain woods or resins such as Palo Santo, which is considered a sacred wood. Because it is a wood, it doesn't burn and burn and burn the way sage does, and I actually want to demonstrate that to you. I'm going to turn the AC off for a minute. Probably leave it off, but get this going. Don't try this at home if you're a minor, please. Or please do it with adult supervision. I just wanted to show you a little bit with sage goes a long way, and you see, hopefully, it smokes a lot. And if you're not careful, you can very, very easily overdo the sage. Sage, I like to call it a sage bomb, as I burn my finger. A sage bomb is exactly what it sounds like. Smoke everywhere. So you do want to be careful with that. And again, sage is a great way to cleanse stones. It's a really, really great way to cleanse a space. And this is one of those things that, as you see, it lights very, very easily. Sage is one of those things that you want to use it with an intention. You want to have a prayer. A lot of people will say simple things as they're saging their space. Best way to go it's best to go counterclockwise to get rid of the negative energy, but I always like to go clockwise just out of habit, and it doesn't really matter that much necessarily. And people, there may be some argument there, but I always think of counterclockwise as to get rid of and clockwise as to bring in. So if you're cleansing a space and you want to do something and add a little oomph to it, really focus on that intention. You can use this to go like that with the smoke. This keeps wanting to die probably because I don't need it right now. But this is what sage fans are used for, smudging fans are used for. I'm sorry, it's not specifically for sage, it's smudging. You use it to direct the smoke. You can also use it for blends of herbs. That's also something to know. You can use it for herbal blends, or things like this incense I have here. Just as an example, as you can see, this very, very fine red powder, I had loose incense. And loose incense usually has to be used with a charcoal disc, and charcoal disc is exactly what it sounds like. It's a disc full of charcoal. If you're going to be using this type, which is basically just ground up herbs into a very fine powder, which is highly, highly effective method. It's actually one of my preferred methods, actually. If you're going to be doing a blend of herbs like that, that's loose, and you want to use a charcoal disc, be precautious because it's just like a charcoal grill. You need tongs, metal tongs. Please handle it safely, handle it with care. You do need to get the whole charcoal disc glowing, where the whole thing is lit. And just like you would for a charcoal grill, exactly the same thing. And then you put your loose incense on top of it, or your ground up herbal concoction, using a mortar or pestle, or hint hint. You can use a mortar or pestle or a coffee grinder. Actually, I've used a coffee grinder from a just a store like your normal general store, to be able to, and it was electric, by the way, to be able to grind up all those herbs. You're going to want to do a little bit at a time, in order to do that. But other herbs that also help raise the vibration are lavender, thistle, myrrh, frankincense resin, etc., etc., etc. And all those are really, really great. We'll actually make an herbal video for things like that. I think that would be good. But just, again, for an example, that's what ground up looks like. And loose blends, it's not required to use the charcoal disc, actually, as a side note. My favorite way to light loose blends is not with a lighter. As you saw, I burned myself earlier. I'm really, really good at that. Me and fire kind of have a funny relationship. Story for another day. But it's become a running joke. at my place of work that me and Fire are kind of funny. Moving on, so for loose blends, I like to use actually those long lighters. You can pick them up at your local dollar store for much cheaper than you would find at your general store. And those work really, really well to really get in there and burn all of the different blend. But the key factor to working with herbal blends is you kind of want to get it even blend, because that's really what brings in the vibration. So you can also use oils like this. They come in little bottles. And you'll find them, there's a lot of different brands, and you'll need an oil burner. Again, you can find that at your general store if you don't have a metaphysical shop near you, or a new age shop near you. And all you need is tea light candles and the oil burner in order to be able to use that. I've also used this as perfume to also help cleanse, clear, raise the vibration. I've used this on stones. Again, be careful with certain stones because they're very soft, and this can actually break down certain stones and cause them to dissolve or to ruin the stone. So you want to look at the moss hardness of the stone. That's MOHS, moss hardness of the stone. I'd say this is safe for anything above a 6. So things that are 7, 8, 9 moss hardness, it's pretty safe to use oils on. But oils are also great, and you don't want to use oils that are very perfumey. The more pure the better, but those can be very, very, very expensive. Those are food grade oils. They're called essential oils. This is not essential oil. This is a blend, but it is more oil than it is perfume. So you can use when I'm in a bind, I have used like spritzer sprays, air glade. Honestly, like air freshener that had certain smells to raise the vibration. There's a quick hack for you there. They do work. Intention again is a big part of that, but just keep in mind, the purer the oil, the higher vibration. That is something that is very, very true, and you're going to want to keep that in mind when you're working with these tools. You can also apply the same concept to body wash, and that's actually a great place to kind of move forward when you're doing a personal cleanse on yourself. If for some reason you have things like smoke sensitivity or allergy or lung things, you can do things like a bath for yourself, or you can also do things like body wash. Now, this is actually a quick hack I did for myself because I was in desperate need of cleansing and I was kind of in a bind. So I basically grabbed what I had around me, and I put in my body wash, which I tend to stick to, like mint, rosemary, lavender, sage, eucalyptus. That's normally what I would stick to during those days. Rose is also a great scent to help raise the vibration. It brings in a love vibration. And I'll actually link down below a great book that you can look at for vibrational properties of herbs if, again, for any reason you can't burn them. So you can look at things you can put in a bath. Taking a bath with it is very, very messy, by the way. Just be aware of that if you feel like you really are desperately in need of a cleanse and you need the bath. It will make a mess. You can also put 3 to 9 drops of this in a bath. But going back to the quick hack for the body wash before I go into purification baths or cleansing baths, you can put oil, again, 3 to 9 drops in your body wash. Sea salt is a really, really big cleanser. That's really, really good. And now that I'm thinking about it, I can add to that, but we're going to focus on baths and for shower for right now. So body wash, sea salt, essential oil, and actually honey. Honey is a great cleanser. It's got a very high vibration, so that's something else to keep in mind. But sea salt, if you're going to use salt, please do not use the iodized table salt. It's in comparison, it's got a lower frequency. You can use sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, Dead Sea salt's great, but regular sea salt works just fine, and you can pick it up at your local grocery store for much cheaper than you'll find it in a metaphysical shop. And for all parts per bottle, it's 3 to 9 parts. So 3 to 9 pinches of your sea salt is just fine, or if you want to add herbs, 3 to 9 pinches of the herbs in your body wash is completely fine. Organic soaps that have got blends of herbs in them, loose in the bar of soap, is an easy hack, quick hack, and they're pretty reasonable. $3 to $5 for organic soap. You can find it at your farmer market or online, for cleansing the body and cleansing the energy. Another quick way is when you're also using the body wash, you can see black sludge literally washing down you and going down the drain. That's a quick hack. Another quick hack for cleansing, counterclockwise. Again, with the counterclockwise, you go counterclockwise over your chakra, pull out. Imagine black coming out clockwise in white light, and you can do that to all 7 of your chakras. You can do a white light meditation to help cleanse white light in and out, inside the body, outside the body, in the aura. And you can also do that white light in a room after you've cleansed the room. So that's also something that will raise the vibration of your intention. Now for the baths, again, Epsom salt is completely fine. Sea salt, oil, and loose herbs for a purification bath. That's usually like when you really feel like you need to cleanse. You just got too much guck on you, too much stress on you. And bath water is really, really great cleanser. Quick hack is sea salt, some oil. If you like coconut oil, or any other oils, that's completely fine. You can mix it with anointing oil to cleanse, some sea salt and anointing oil, and wash your hands to cleanse. That's completely fine. Sometimes I do it to my face to cleanse my third eye real quick, or my heart chakra, wherever I kind of feel like I need a quick pick-me-up energetically, where I'm like, I just don't feel good here. I'll do that when I'm washing my hands. So that's something I've gotten into the habit of in between my reading sessions, is washing my hands, and it works really, really, really well. So keep that in mind as well. And for cleansing the space, again, if you have smoke allergy or smoke sensitivities and you can't burn, another hack is that they have things that are called washes. Florida water. Florida water you can find at your local grocery, online. I found it at like Walmart, your big chain stores. It's become a little bit more popular, and you can use those to cleanse as well, and you can add that to your bath. Just again, be careful with like Florida water. That's actually a perfume, but you can put Florida water or use these washes. Rose water is a great one. Lavender water, and St. John the Conqueror floor wash, and I would actually put that in my mop bucket and mop my floors with that and some sea salt. Or if I had a carpeted area, I would spritz with a spray some onto my carpet, let it air dry, and sprinkle sea salt all over it as I set my intention, and then vacuum the sea salt up. It's a really quick way to cleanse a room or cleanse a space, and it works really, really, really well. Now going into sprays, because I'm just like, oh, this is segueing into all these different information, which is wonderful. Making sprays, you can get just a regular spray bottle. It is 2 parts water, distilled water preferably because it's easier, or purified water, to 2 parts 99.9% alcohol, because that helps with the spraying process. Again, 3 to 9 drops of an essential oil of your choice. You can use white sage or whatever, and you can actually use different stones in that spray as well if you want to. Rose quartz, You can put, if you don't mind sacrificing some of this, you can put that in there as well. You can put holy water in there. Holy water is a great cleanser, by the way. That is something to also look at if you can't use smoke for any reason, and you can create your own sprays. You can also find sprays for a space online. Orange pills in the corner, or onions cut up actually in the corners of the room, are really great for absorbing energy. Orange peels in specific, excuse me, please don't cut up an orange and leave it in the corner, but cut up onion or orange peels in the corners of a room. Orange peels probably smell a lot better. Actually help cleanse as well without needing to use smoke, and as they're starting to go bad, you can throw them away. Please do not touch them because they've absorbed all that negative energy. Pick them up with a grocery bag and some white paper towels. Picking something up that has energy on it, you always want to not touch it with your hands. You want to bury your white paper towels or a white towel or a white rag. You don't mind sacrificing. White is a very purifying color, so that's why white specifically, but if you don't have that on hand, another color would do. Just don't touch it with your hands. That's not good. When you think of the vibrations of color, white reflects, black absorbs. So that's also something to keep in mind when you're working with color properties. Black absorbs, but because it absorbs, it protects. So keep that in mind as well. And beyond smudge sprays or spray blends, I had another great one. Sand traps. You can make your own sand trap you can find recipes for that online. Sand traps are great. Or water with sea salt behind your door is great. It helps capture negative energy, water with sea salt. And you can use just a regular water bottle. Holy water, again, you can just leave the holy water behind the front door to cleanse that space. And you can also put a mirror in front of your front door to reflect out the negative energy that somebody brings into your home. So those are quick hacks that have nothing to do with smoke or anything like that. And the last thing I wanted to bring up that you can use for cleansing are things called orgonite. They're resin, and people put all sorts of materials in. If you can see the herbs and the stones, orgonite is really, really, really a great vibrational property. People tend to put in gold and different healing herbs, different purification herbs, different purification stones into orgonite, and that helps raise the vibration of it as well. And the whole thing about orgonite is intention. I prefer to touch my orgonite to see how I feel about the orgonite when I'm purchasing it, because I want to actually feel the energy of the orgonite. I don't like purchasing orgonite online, but that's personal preference. You can purchase orgonite online. And if you get an orgonite that you feel is kind of like not very strong, you can always put intention into it to raise the vibration of that orgonite. The last thing you can use is sound. Bells, wind chimes, those are all great tools for getting rid of negative energy. You can use bells. There are towel bells. It has a string. I don't have any with me. I don't own any currently. But you can ding them together to cleanse and clear space. You can use sound healing music to cleanse and clear a space as well, with prayer and meditation and seeing white light in a space or in a room, or you're seeing white light within yourself and in your aura to help cleanse as well. So all those things are just really quick hacks and quick tools for cleansing and clearing, some tips and tricks. If you guys can think of anything else that I haven't covered, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you do to cleanse and clear your space that I haven't mentioned before. And the last thing I kind of want to cover is candles. The nice thing about candles is you can actually address a candle yourself. Again, make sure you have your intention. Intention is important. You're going to hear me harping about intention Intention, again and again and again and again. Intention, super important. White candles are most often used for clearing and cleansing. White is a great color. The violet flame, so violet is a great color. Violet flame is another purification method where you visualize yourself in a white flame and you can say a prayer. This is the way it's spelled, violet flame, spelled exactly the way it sounds. And you can find prayers for the violet flame online. Prayer is another great way of cleansing. Word, obviously, sound, falling into the sound category is a great way to cleanse. But for your candles, you can do things like put herbs and oils onto that candle and specifically create, and sigils, symbols. You can find protection symbols online, cleansing symbols online. Those are great. You can carve that into the candle to raise the vibration of the candle as well. So just remember, the more you add, the more you do, the more strong it is, the better it works. But sometimes simple is better. It just depends on the situation. It depends on what you really need to do. Sometimes you just need to cleanse, clear, get out. Remember, if you're using white sage and the energy feels really heavy and you're getting it out, combine it with something else like dragon's blood or lavender. I'm probably going to default to lavender a lot. Rosemary is great. Blessed thistle is great. Juniper is great. All those are really, really great. Frankincense, myrrh. But I really, really do prefer lavender with my sage, or dragon's blood with my sage. It's probably, again, just nostalgia. Defaulting to the familiar. I'm very familiar with those and their properties, so that's what I use. I use what I know. And I think that's like anyone. So that's something to keep in mind. I do think that's pretty much it. So if you're making your own candles, again, you can find recipes online. You can Google blessing a candle or dressing a candle like you dress with your clothes. Dressing a candle for purification you should be able to find things online. There's so much information. We just sometimes don't know what we're looking for. And it's always good to just kind of play around with your words to find what you're looking for. But I hope this was helpful. Other things for cleansing are things with vibrational properties themselves, like Archangel Michael. Having pictures or symbols or different things in your area to help cleanse, clear, or protect. Like I said, we'll make a protection video at some point, but to protect the energy, cleanse the energy, or clear the energy is also very, very greatly helpful. And just plants themselves. Plants, period. Plants, greenery in the home. If you have a black thumb, please don't put the plant through it. But if you have plants in the home, especially things like rosemary and lavender, that does help cleanse the space, and get rid of the negative energy. So that's just something else to keep in mind. It helps purify the air, detoxify the air. If you have certain plants like certain ferns like spider fern, or air plants help. So, all right, I think I've covered as much as I can remember. I'm sure there's so much more. There's so many different ways to cleanse, but these are just some quick hacks or some quick tips and tricks that are not too difficult and hopefully fairly cost effective, that is not going to break the bank to cleanse. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed having you here. Again, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for future videos, and I look forward to seeing you next time.